But what's recently come on the horizon are these compounds that Mr. Bennett referred to as the N-bomb, or the fake LSD, or the synthetic LSD. These are different chemicals that bind, again, to the same receptor, will cause similar types of activities as LSD does. But one big difference between the N-bomb compounds and some of these synthetic cannabinoids is synthetic cannabinoids can put you in hazardous situations where you might run out in front of a car and get hit or something like that. The N-bomb compounds, they can cause overt lethal toxicity. The chemical itself can cause death. There's been reported over the last year or so at least 19 different individuals, usually teenagers or young adults, that have died because of the ingestion of these N-bombs, or these, sometimes they go by Smile, or 25I, or 25C, or 25B. And the only difference between these things is just minor changes in the chemical structure, but they still have the same very potent bad action that can lead to a heart attack, seizures, strokes, ultimately leading to death. Not to mention, if you are on a hallucinogen, it can cause bizarre behavior. Those of you that may be old enough to remember back in the 60s and 70s when LSD was quite rampant, and one of the things you heard about people doing is stripping all their clothes off. That was because it would cause increased body temperatures. But then think they could fly and leap from heights. The same type of behavior has been associated with these particular compounds. There was a young boy, I believe it was in Australia, that was the exact scenario that he was telling his mother. She was trying to hold him from leaping off the balcony. I can fly, I can fly. But unfortunately she couldn't hold him back, and he did leap to his death.
Before I turn to Mike here, I'll ask from the law enforcement perspective, Jeff or Chris, on the, to make it sound like this, but on the streets of Wichita, what are you guys seeing in terms of the proliferation of these kind of things? We've got a picture of this N-bomb and some of the varying ways, the varying images, and again, we'll get this to you guys and email it to you if that'd be easier for you later. But what, from a law enforcement perspective, are we seeing in Sedgwick County and Wichita?
Over the last year, we've seen several cases involving just this N-bomb, the synthetic, and we're seeing more of an increase. As the doc said, there's been other areas of the country that they've seen an increase in the number of deaths. I believe the Kansas City area had several, and typically what we see is trends on the east and west coast eventually migrate here to the Midwest. I know Lieutenant Bannister, when he was in special investigations, they had several cases as well.
Well, the one thing that stuck out for me is, as Dr. Rohrig has mentioned, you're not able to identify visually by looking at these substances how potent they are. There is no quality control mechanism in place for the people who are making this. And as you can see from the pictures of this, they're trying to target a younger generation, our kids, with the use of these cartoons, the bright colors, the packaging material. They're trying to entice them in that this is a safe product, kind of associated with the way candy is marketed, and that this is anything but candy. So from a law enforcement perspective, we're very concerned with how they're being packaged, as well as the lack of quality control and what it's doing.